Hi, welcome to Hyperion Hype Club. My name is McKenna and I love the Kingdom Keepers books by Ridley Pearson. Join me as we discuss this series and others published by Disney-Hyperion Books. Let's get into it. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the last episode of this season of Hyperion Hype Club, where we are going over our sixth section of Kingdom Keepers, Disney in Shadow by Ridley Pearson, and this section covers chapters 40 through 48, aka the end. So just a little reading update for me. I finished this book and Catching Fire on Monday. I'm recording this on a Wednesday. And so that night I read 2 chapters of Iron Flame. And then yesterday I read almost 200 pages of Iron Flame. And I'm trying to get myself to slow down now and kind of milk it. So this morning I read 4 chapters and I'm just like going slow, getting other stuff on my to-do list done. And that book just keeps getting better and better. But overall, I really enjoyed Disney in Shadow. I thought it was a great book. And let's just hop into the highlights reel for it. Finn's mom alerted the other keeper parents, plus Mavek's aunt. I'm unsure if she knew about Jess and Amanda being there, so Mrs. Mash may not know. 100% human Philby is being sent to the hospital, even though they may make matters worse. Mrs. Whitman is going to Epcot. Also, Philby's mom thinks that the keepers are on drugs and imagining their times in the parks because of them. Philby surveyed the control room and its technician to figure out how to utilize certain effects like trap doors on stage. Charlene figured out the stage and backstage areas have a projection shadow. They figure Maleficent's plan is to lure the real Mickey to Fantasmic so she can defeat him after she practiced in these 5 a.m. rehearsals that she scheduled, plus the nightly show. Amanda messes up with Finn by suggesting he give dating Charlene a shot. Then she doesn't climb the strap into the backstage area of Fantasmic, but she finds her way back there anyway. Philby makes a decent pun and then ruins it by asking the other keepers if they got it. Philby secured the Fantasmic control room and master keys before messing with the Fantasmic controls during the technician's break. The Philbys are going to Disney World too. Remember that Philby's first name is actually Del, so his parents are going to Disney World too with Finn's mom, and it seems like his dad went too. Jess finds herself trying to get into Maleficent's mind before realizing that's crazy. She then runs into Maleficent, who thinks she's a stagehand and has Jess follow her, and Jess ultimately reveals herself. The Overtaker's goals are like the plot of Fantasmic: turn the good into bad, create a nightmare Fantasmic, possibly turning Jess's visions into nightmares or stopping them. Philby got doped up from the hospital IV. There is an epic battle involving Finn, Maleficent, Charlene, Chernabog as a dragon, Amanda, and the Betrayer, a fake DHI, Wayne. The Keepers, with the help of Finn's mom, rescue Wayne, who is trapped inside the Illumination's globe. We learn that Maleficent is being held in Dax Vet Services, and Chernabog is in the behind-the-scenes elephant indoor area. The story ends with Finn and Amanda having a coupley discussion about how Amanda can't push Finn away. All right, now I don't have anything like iconic to mention that was briefly mentioned for this, but I do have something else we can maybe talk about. So a little segue for a mini aughts history lesson that I looked up some info on because I was curious. In this section, we see Philby pull out a Nextel phone. These were phones with Direct Connect, which was a walkie-talkie-like feature we saw the keepers use in the previous section while trying to find the cast member truck to leave Epcot. Nextel's first device like this came out in the 90s, and they continued to improve the range over the years, so like the distance that Direct Connect would work over. Their 2009 ad was called When Seconds Matter. Personally, I had an itty-bitty Nokia brick phone back then that I could only make calls with, no texting, internet, or games. I didn't know anyone with this Nextel phone, but I was curious if you guys or your parents know anyone who had one. Yeah, mine was like this tiny little brick. Hello. I remember I texted a friend once, and my mom was like, "You know how expensive that is?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'll never text again." I didn't get a smartphone till I was 17, right before I started my senior year, which I feel like was good. I mean, I definitely needed my phone for my senior year because there's so many times in class they're like, "No, pull out your phone and do this." On to random comments. I low-key love and relate to Philby's drugged up nerd moment about not doing drugs to mess up his brain chemistry. I also relate to what could a little nap hurt. I think many, if not all of us, can relate to that. We all have a moment where we think to ourselves, what could a little nap hurt? But yeah, on the nerd part, that's totally how I see it, and that's totally how I saw stuff like drinking before I started drinking. I was like, oh, my brain chemistry. I don't know. It was just like a nerdy thing. And I'm glad like there's a character who's linking the same thing out there somewhere. Moving on. In my opinion, Jess shouldn't have let Maleficent know it was her when sending Maleficent up to the top of the quote unquote mountain in Fantasmic. That gave Maleficent the trip up to gather herself and prepare to fight the Keepers next. Like I've said before, I enjoy reading the acknowledgments for these books. I couldn't find info for all of the Disney people Ridley Pearson thanked, but here is what I could find. Alex Wright is the author and designer of the Imagineering Field Guide book series. He is an Imagineer, currently an executive creative director. He had a major hand in transforming Downtown Disney into Disney Springs, Pandora, the World of Avatar, and Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. Jason Grant is a WDI, so Walt Disney Imagineering creative director. He's also the author and illustrator of the Figment and Orange Bird Little Golden books. Deborah Wren is a graphic designer formerly of WDI, but now consults, working occasionally for WDI and Universal Creative. She has achieved graphic design awards for Shanghai Disneyland, the Pirates of the Caribbean attraction in Shanghai, and Universal's Volcano Bay. I couldn't find anything on Pete Glim, but I'm thinking he has something to do with pyrotechnics, considering that's the name of the Pyro CM cast member in this book. Jeff Terry is now retired from Disney, and I can't find anything else. Brian Ripley is retired from Walt Disney World's engineering services, or was retired. May he rest in peace. And then Rachel was named after a real soaring cast member who helped out Ridley Pearson. Okay, so yeah, that was a shorter than usual random comments section. And now we kind of have a shorter than usual random questions section. All right, first, was Charlene really all that selfish in the first book? I think it's Finn who says that. Like, he's like, I remember her being so selfish or whatever. What do you guys think? I didn't read her that way. Perhaps it's because I really like her character in general, especially after she snuck into the bat enclosure in the second book. And like, I read that first book when I was really young, like 15 years ago. Yeah, about 15 years or so years ago. I finished the second book as an adult, and like I was, how old was I? 21. Yeah, so an adult, kind of. And I was like, wow, this is like Charlene's really cool. She has this moment where she like, I guess, where she like, I don't know, finds herself a little more, finds out she's more of a tomboy because like was a cheerleader, but I'm also more of a tomboy kind of thing. So I really related to her character that way, and I never saw her character as selfish. So then going into this reread of the whole series as a 25-year-old, yeah, I technically started recording the first season when I was 24, but the first episode wasn't published until I was 25. And like I already remembered that about her character, and I was like, oh, she's cool. So maybe I just didn't see the selfish part when I reread the first book. But yeah, definitely let me know what you guys think. Second, if the keepers are in a projection shadow backstage, can they still go all clear? Third, if the keepers' phones are also invisible in DHI's shadows, how was Finn and possibly Willa as well able to message in the group chat with his phone, or with their phones. The book doesn't say whether he found a way out of the projection shadow before the keeper's text exchange, only after. And then last, how did Finn and Philby's parents get backstage? Why'd they think to check the Illuminations barge storage area? Random things that we won't know because this book is more so from the kids' perspective, with obviously glimpses of the parent stuff, but that's not really what we're focusing on. But yeah, just random questions. I really enjoyed the section of the book. I love going behind the scenes at Fantasmic. And yeah, just this whole book had some really captivating moments. And I thought it was a good read overall. Love the details. Like, thanks to everyone in the acknowledgements for helping Ridley Pearson bring this book to life and giving us all these wonderful details. And yeah, it's cool to see. And I'm excited to read the next book. Oh my gosh, I haven't worked out all the sections for the next book. All right, so the next book, this is just me who did the lighting change while I was doing all that. The next book is
Future Editing McKenna here to say that instead of doing the fourth Kingdom Keepers book, Power Play, like I had originally planned, I'm now gonna do something totally different for this and do a deep dive on a book that I have never read before, but that has been on my TBR since I was a child. Peter and the Starcatchers, written by Dave Barry and Ridley Pearson. So I have a few things worked out. I have my copy of it on the way, and I will probably put like a little kind of trailer for it or a short thing before it to say what the episodes are going to look like and the chapter breakdown like the week before the first episode is released. And yeah, just dive into this new series with me. If there's anything you guys think I should kind of keep an eye on or look out for while I'm reading, definitely let me know in the comments of the YouTube video or in the little space where you can leave a comment on Spotify. And then next week, I am releasing my review of Mistress of All Evil by Serena Valentino the fourth book in the Villains series. And then the week after that, I actually have a vlog coming, and that's gonna be like the 24-hour reading challenge. And in that, I reread Kingdom Keepers Inheritance of Shimmer, Villain's Realm, and a few other books. So yeah. The new season will start in May at some point. So I'm excited, and I hope you guys join me for that Peter and the Starcatchers deep dive.
I hope you guys read a lot of fun things during your time off. I'm obviously going to finish Iron Flame. I'm going to read Mockingjay. And then I'm not quite sure what else I'll read. Maybe I'll read Mistress of All Evil. Or, or like Remarkably Bright Creatures. I think I might borrow that from my older sister's bookshelf. But yeah, maybe start the Throne of Glass series. So yeah, I'm excited. Yay! Bye. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. Please remember to rate, review, subscribe, and follow. Also, please chat with me and other members of this club in the comments of the YouTube video. My other social media information and a link to the Long Distance Sisters podcast I am also part of will be below. Back in a whack.